Hey everybody, it's Patricia and welcome back to my channel. It's time for a chatty get ready with me. If you're new here, what I do is I just put on my makeup and tell you what's going on in my life. We may talk about makeup, we may not. This is more the chatty side of things than the makeup side of things. So if you're new here, welcome. I appreciate you stopping by, and if you're one of my regulars, thanks for stopping in. I just saw my eye drops. Let's put some eye drops in so I won't look so scary. My eyes don't look so bad today though. Let's hang on to our drops and let's just go without it today. Okay, before I get started, I like to talk about my new passion, which is crocheting. And I'm going to show you a couple new things I've made. I'm not going to do this every time. I know this is probably a lot of you are saying, I don't want to see any more crocheted items. I'm just excited about them. And I have been thinking about my Etsy shop. If you all are interested, I do have an Etsy shop. And one of you did tell me you went over and took a look. Thank you so much. So I do have an Etsy shop. It's listed down below. It's Finding My Tiara Designs. You have to spell it all together. One long word. But I do have a link down below. RC's with us. But let me get my latest creations. I have been teaching myself by making these amigurumi. That's what they're called. These amigurumi plushies, for lack of a better word. So I found a couple patterns by the same person. And I just fell in love with them. And so I had to purchase them. I bought them on Etsy. And if you are a crocheter and you would like these patterns, if you'll just drop me an email, findingmytiara@gmail.com, I'll give you the link to this. Or I will look it up and put it down below. Also in the details description if you're interested. But first I made Queen Elizabeth II. Isn't she cute? I made her in purple because I have purple. I went crazy and bought a bunch of yarn when Joann had their they had a big yarn sale. It had some cheesy name, Yarntacular, or I don't know. Anyhow, I bought a ton of yarn. I ordered it, which I don't think I would do that again from Joann, mainly because I ordered a ton of yarn and they shipped it like a skein at a time. So I got in, I don't know how many shipments, and they all came at different times, and I don't want to do that again. I'll just have to find some. I'll probably purchase again from Joann online, but not like I just did with a big, but I couldn't resist the prices. So I'm using up, basically what I'm saying, I'm using up what I bought. So this queen is in nice lavender. She's got her purse. She has her hat. I didn't sew her hair on. This is what her head looks like without her hat on. Here's her hat. And you're supposed to sew the hair on. I just didn't. And I thought, well, she's mine. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to sew it on. But yeah, I added a little flower on her hat. And I think the queen looks nice. I do want to make more of these. It's part of my plan, and I'll get to that in a minute. But let me lay her aside. Next, this one, strictly for me. I don't know. If I have someone ask me for one of these, I might make it. I don't really plan on making any more. Never say never though. But those of you who've been with me a long time, you know I'm an artist. My degree is in commercial art and visual communications. So I love art, and I will be incorporating my artwork into this channel because I want to get back into my drawing. I haven't made a drawing in over 2 years. So I've got a brand new drawing desk I got for Christmas, and it's nothing major, but it is a drawing desk. And I want to get back into my artwork. Okay, all that just to say, I made this for me because this is my one of my favorite artists. It's Vincent van Gogh. Isn't it cute? The only hair I had was this bright orange. I wish I'd had a rusty red, and I have another pattern I'm going to make. I am going to buy yarn before I make that pattern. But yeah, and I thought, well, he's mine. I'm just going to keep him with this. And he's dressed, these colors go with sort of a starry night. And then he's got his sunflower. And if you'll notice, he only has one ear. The pattern had sewn his left ear on. He cut off his left ear. He only had his right ear. So I corrected that right there. Again, I didn't sew his hair on. It's just on there's nothing neat. But look at this hat. I love this hat. I might make more hats. I love these because they have hats. And I have a little bit of my grandmother in me. Once I've got like a basic pattern, I can pretty much figure out and switch things up myself. So I have an idea for another artist using this pattern, but not completely. And I might make some more of the queen in different colors. I loved how she always coordinated. So that's Vincent. There we go. My idea for my Etsy shop, I do want to make amigurumi toys that kids can play with, but I think I'm going to focus on some art pieces that are not toys, but making royalty and embellishing them with vintage rhinestones and vintage pearls. She needs a pearl necklace maybe. She needs some diamond earrings. She needs her brooch, that kind of thing. I have some other royalty queens and kings going on in my head that I can bedazzle the heck out of, and I think I'm going to go that way. Plus, I do want to make things for children, but I think the bedazzled pieces ties in nicely with my Etsy shop I already have. There we go. Now, let's get into the makeup. I've already done my skincare. Put my primer on. These dark circles are because I don't sleep. And again, last night, the longest stretch of time I slept was I actually got 3 hours in one stretch. I went to bed at 9 something because I couldn't keep my eyes open. By 11, I was wide awake. And then I laid there for about a couple hours. It was a couple hours. It's about 1 o'clock probably when I fell asleep. Woke up at 3. Laid there about an hour. Went back, so I fell asleep about 4 and woke up at 7. And there we go. That was my night. And I know a lot of you have the same nights like that. It's just so aggravating. But anyway, let's get started. And until I can do something about that, I think I'm just gonna have baggy under eyes. I did not look at all these dirty brushes. I haven't cleaned them yet. I've just been going. I need a foundation brush. Let's grab another one. Add to my growing list of brushes that need to be washed. We had our HVAC system quit working. And so we had to call somebody. Or I didn't actually call him. I just messaged him on Facebook Messenger. But one thing I like about living in this small town is I belong to a Facebook group for people who live in our county. And I just went on there and said in search of someone to fix my HVAC system. And I got a ton of recommendations. I didn't know so many people in this area did that kind of work. Some of the recommendations were from Columbia. And I didn't want anybody from Columbia. I wanted somebody from Camden. So I just let people suggest things all day. And then I noticed this one guy got quite a few suggestions. Didn't have a website. He doesn't have a website. He has his Facebook page, which is just his Facebook page. I went on there and checked it out, and I did a little snooping, and I had a good feeling about it. So I messaged him on Messenger because I figured he's probably working somewhere, and he was. And he was able, he answered me right back probably within 30 minutes. And then he was able, he'd come over and he checked out everything. And what happened was, let's grab some concealer. One of the belts stopped working or was broken. And with the HVAC system we have, which don't ask me what it is, I don't remember. They don't have replacement belts. You have to buy the whole motor system. And so he asked me, you know, I told him we had just moved here. We had not even been here a year yet. We're almost at a year though. Can you believe it? Almost a year. I said, we haven't been here a year yet. And he said, do you know who owned the house before? And I was like, well, yeah, I do. For once, I actually know the previous owners of the house. And so I gave him the guy's name, Skip's name, and he said, I'm going to check and see if it's still under warranty. And it was. Thank goodness. So that whole motor we got for free. It was under warranty. So that was good. But we did. It took a few days for it to get here. But that's what I did this week. I dealt with that. And the day the motor came in, this guy's name was Marcus. He says, the motor came in today. If you don't mind, I'd like to come on over and put it in, if that's all right. And I'm like, well, sure. So he came over about, well, it was about 6 o'clock at night. And he stayed till after dark working on that thing. But he got it in, and it's running great. So my dog is snoring. Yeah. Sorry, guys. If you can hear that. Dirty. There we go. So, yeah, that was excitement for the week. Not really, but we've not been running the heat much because it's been warm. In fact, today it's supposed to get to 62. I hope so. I'm already warm. I had the ceiling fan going, but it makes that noise. So I need to, at some point, have Brian check on that, although I don't know if he knows anything about ceiling fans. It makes that noise. I know it's probably moving. It's not tightened or something. You know. I think that's the problem. But it aggravates me, and I know you guys can hear it in the video. But yeah, it aggravates me. So yeah. So I don't have the heat on, right? Or I don't have the heat on. I don't have the air on. I don't have the fan on. That's what I'm trying to say. It's been nice not having to run the heat and the air. The air will come this summer. It gets over 100 here. That's a normal thing. Whereas back home in Asheville, they're like single digits. I am not missing that. The coldest we've gotten is the 20s. I will take that any day over single digit wind blowing, snow in the air. That is not anything I like. I got makeup on my hand. So anyway, I have been I've been doing a lot of thinking, and I'm juggling all these balls in the air trying to figure out which way I want to go with my entire life, basically. With my business, with this channel, with me. I've been doing that shadow work, and sometimes it gives me nightmares. I have come to the conclusion, I don't think I have like bad trauma in my past, in my childhood. I do have trauma, and I think a lot of things stem from the fact that my father died when I was young. So I have figured that out, and I'm dealing with that. So yeah, that was a blow, and with how my mother dealt with my father's death and how that changed our relationship, because I was closest to my father than my mother, and I think that that affected, of course, my relationship with my mother. But then after my father died, our relationship changed, and I don't want to say for the better, and I don't want to say for the worse, but it did change. So I got all that going on. Shadow work is really fascinating, and like I said, it's something that's never done, so I'm not rushing into it. I'm going into it slowly and working things out. I'm happy with how that's going. So yeah, there we go. Now for my eyes today, I want to play in this little palette I got in my Ipsy bag, and I've already used it once. And first impression was, yeah, it's not a bad little palette. Not bad at all. So we're going to just play with this today. If you got this palette, then here we go. Do I want to zoom you? I'm going to zoom you in a little because editing me will do it. I'm not going to mess with the camera. I learned when I zoom in with the camera, my focus isn't as good. But I'm going to start with this lightest shade right here, or the closest to my skin tone, and set my primer with it. I've got videos to film today, and then I have editing and then uploading. And I have a video that I have to, before I can upload it, I have to send it to, it's a sponsored video, so I have to send it in. They have to approve it. I don't know when that one will be out. I'm going to film it today though. And so that's going to take up a lot of my time doing all that. I need to wash. I got a lot of things. I got to sit down, figure out, make a list of things I have to do this week. I'm really bad. I find I do procrastinate more than I ever thought I did. I'm going to go with this shade right here and put it in my transition area. I didn't ever used to be a procrastinator. When I was in college, my roommate and I, she was actually technically my third roommate. She and I, it was the Cuban family I lived with. Maria and I, we had all same classes. And, gosh, she's a talented artist. Anyway, what we did in art school was this was near graduation, near the end, completion of college. We would get an assignment, just like we were working out, out in the real world. We would get an assignment, and we'd get all the specs and everything about it, and then we had to come up with everything. We didn't have to come up with copy. We would draw lines where words would go, like if we were doing a print piece, and so we would have to come up with a title though to go with our piece we were working on. Anyway, we would get an assignment, and I was the one who, okay, let's go by on the way home, we start by the art store because I'm out of this. I need this, 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 and this. So we would stop by Pearl. We didn't have one in North Carolina, but Fort Lauderdale, we had Pearl. And I love that store. It was huge. It was art supplies. Like Blick. Blick is my favorite now. The closest Blick I have is Savannah. When I go to Savannah, I go in that store and just kind of go, oh, man, heaven. Anyway. I'm going to take that same shade and do my outer V with it. So anyway, we'd go by the art store and head home, and then I would start brainstorming, and I would probably brainstorm that evening, because in class the next however many weeks we're given to do this project, that's what we did in class, was work on our project. We didn't really do anything else. So I wanted to be ready, Johnny on the spot, And then I'd have all my pieces together, and then when we went to class the next day, I'm ready to really start rocking and rolling. And I always finish my pieces early. That way, if I thought, well, maybe I should do this or maybe I should do that, I had time to tweak it. Maria, on the other hand, I don't know what she did. I don't remember, but I always remember night before projects due, she's up all night working on it. Yeah, so that's the difference. I always got things done quickly. She always procrastinated, but now I find I procrastinate about a lot of things, and that's something I want to change. And that's something that has just popped up in the past year or so. I think after we moved here, I really started procrastinating because I think I was overwhelmed. Now, enough about that. I think on the inner corner, let's make it easy. No, you guys, you might have this and you might want to play with it. I'm going to go with, this shimmer right here. Let me get it on my finger. That's a pretty taupe color. Let's get it on the inner portion of my eye here. That's a very pretty shade. Now I have to say these are not as pigmented as, say, a Nomad palette or a Melt palette or, yeah, something like that. But these are very, very nice. I can build the colors up. Yeah, and I want to go with this pretty purple right here. Let me make sure my finger's dry. I don't want it too wet. That's a pretty shimmer. And I'm gonna stick that in the center. Of course, you guys knew that's what I was gonna do with that. Oh, very pretty. Nor my eyes, if they have not too bloodshot. I am almost out of small brushes. Man, I need to wash my brushes. Do I have any here? Maybe this one. This one. Who's this? Lunar Beauty. I'm going to go with this gold right here. And I'm actually going to get it on the side of my brush. Can you see what shape brush I have? One on the side. I'm going to start in the front and start lining under my eye. Mainly because I want that shimmer more up front. I hear the train. No, it might be a car. Oh, might have been a car. I need, oh, I've got a new eyeliner. Excuse me, I got a new eyeliner in my Ipsy, and this is, I think that's K collection, YC collection. I think it's YC. YC collection. And it's an island eyeliner in Young-Eek. I don't know, but I'm going to use this, I think, on this outer. I'm not going to put it on my waterline. Let's just go all the way across. Oh, if you're interested in historical kind of makeup, there's a makeup artist I watch. You might watch her too, Ellen Parsons. Ellen Parson is her name, and her channel's Ellen Parson Makeup. And she started a series. I didn't even put that in my waterline, and my eyes are watering. It's not this, it's my eyes. You know what? We're not going to cut away today. Let's just put mascara on. It's called, well, I forgot what it's called. Didn't matter. It's about, the first part is about Queen Elizabeth I and that white lead paint makeup she wore. And she went researching to see about that. And I don't want to give it away because it's really fascinating. And that was part 1, so I can't wait to see part 2 when she makes her own version of the makeup. So I will link her channel down below. It's Ellen Parson Makeup. I think that's the name of it. I'll double check. I'll link that down below too. I gotta remember. Editing me needs to remember. Or needs to write this down as I'm editing. So I put things in the description box. Because I'll forget. Oh, there we go. Let's do the under. I normally don't film this part because to me it's probably boring for you. But since I was on a tangent talking about something, I thought, well, we won't cut away today. We'll just keep going. There we go. Now, I'm going to do something simple. Some Kylie blush. Oh, first, let me grab this highlighter I always put up here. I just think that looks good. There we go. Not bad. I like these eyeshadows. I like this little eyeshadow palette. Oh, let me grab a blush brush. I'm starting to have a hot flash because I'm warm in here. Across my nose. Let's just blush up a bit. Highlighter. Just grabbing this on my desk because I haven't cleaned my desk either. Everything's a mess. What have I been doing? Crocheting. It's taken over my life. And I've got to stop. I can't do it as much. Trestique lip crayon. Yeah. And there we go. There. I think that looks pretty good. Feels pretty good. I feel like I want some spray, not necessarily just to set my makeup, but to cool me off. So I added some all-nighter there. So there we go. That's it. I like these eyeshadows. Lucky Chick. I don't know the name of this palette. Daydreams. Daydreams. I think that's pretty. So guys, thank y'all for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope I didn't talk about things you weren't interested in. Maybe, maybe not. I'm just keeping it real. Just talking about myself. So guys, thank y'all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. If you are new here and you did somewhat like this video, you enjoyed it, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. Any questions or comments, leave them down below. Sorry, I'm not answering them as fast. I've been crocheting, so it's not really an excuse, and I got to get better at it. So, guys, thank y'all for watching, and I will see you next time.